Pretty much. So it's picks and bans time for game number 3, ROX Tigers versus Samsung. We have not seen a ROX Tigers game 3 in a while.
Nope, not in this round robin. Yeah. Finally, the ROX will not be going 18-0 in their second round robin.
There's the silver band. And the ROX Tigers are on red side, a side that they have not yet lost on this season.
Samsung not wanting to take the Poppy first, ergo they will ban it. They're probably gunning for that in Italy, but I don't think that will be allowed through.
I think it'd be banned right about now.
It's interesting, the bans from ROX in the first game were Lysandra, Corki, and Trundle. Already mixing up. They took Sivir in the first game.
Corki ban. We saw Trundle fall all the way through picks and bans last game, interestingly enough. There's an Italy ban.
ROX could have easily taken the Trundle. I was really hoping they would do that, but they decided that they did not want to have a same composition.
So what do you use for that last ban? Just get rid of TF?
No, you get rid of Lysandra, so QV can't have it.
Okay. Seems reasonable. What's it going to be? Alistar. Okay. Huh. That's going to be a Nautilus first pick by Samsung.
Please pick Trundle.
Graves. And not Gragas. Trundle.
They could take both.
Well, that they could. Smeb can play Graves in the top lane.
You could also play Graves mid lane.
True. And they'll take it. Wow, Gragas and Graves. Gragas and Graves sounds like some sort of like insurance company or something like that, or some investment firm. Come down to the offices of Gragas and Graves.
It's life
comprehensive life insurance coverage. There you go.
Not health insurance. You would never call health insurance Graves still.
I suppose.
You are not allowed to be in marketing.
Not anymore.
I forbid you.
All right. Have you received a mortal reminder? Come down to Gragas and Graves Life Insurance. Kindred and Lucian picked up.
Wow, taking
Samsung.
Kindred intentionally into Gragas. We'll call that bold.
Bold, very bold. I mean, we know what Gragas does to Kindred ult.
Not happy things.
Didn't Kuro used to play Katarina but way back in the day?
I'm sure he
way
has.
Way back in the day.
I could check and see how many games of Katarina he has played if you are indeed curious.
I am curious. I am curious. And I don't know if I'm remembering that it was Kuro who did that. Trundle and Jin picked up by the ROX Tigers now.
And a nice little chuckle there for Prey. They haven't revealed where any of these champions are going quite yet. They have a lot of options. Certainly Graves can be played mid, Trundle can be played top or support, so
Jin can be played mid.
No.
But you said they hadn't revealed where any of the picks are going. Are you going back on your word, Monty? Have you lied to us?
I lied to you.
You dirty liar.
So they called me.
Dirty liar, Christo.
Kuro has played one game of Katarina ever.
Okay, I must be remembering that one. Oh, so will we have the Azir? We will. Azir for Kuro. Okay, interesting. All right, well, I'm excited. Another Jin game. Jin is so fun to watch.
Just Jin to win, Prey.
Jin to win. Many other AD carries have been doing it. And Prey, think about the accuracy this guy has on his Ashe arrows.
Well, he was great. His first game on Prey, no reason to believe that will falter now. He has got a very solid front line and a lane-dominant champion with which to execute. QV again on the gangplank in the top lane. Didn't work out in game number 1 of this series. And they don't have a lot of protection for Lucian, Kindred, and GP this time.
It's going to be interesting.
They didn't have a lot of protection in game number 1 either.
True.
They had Alistar. This game, they have a support Nautilus, so I'm not sure if Samsung falling back on this particular strategy is the wisest decision, because they were just out-skirmished in the first game of the series, and they lost it pretty convincingly.
Pretty much. And so, the ROX Tigers trying to avoid their first match loss of the entire season. Samsung trying to give it to them.
Oh man, this Kindred against Azir ult and Gragas ult.
It seems really bad,
and Trundle Pillar.
Yeah.
Oh, I would not have selected this Kindred so early.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to get the best results from that. But we will find out very shortly as we move into game number 3. Samsung versus ROX Tigers. Who takes it? Let's find out. It is time. Samsung taking on the ROX Tigers, and Samsung the first team in a long time to give the ROX Tigers a run for their money. It was a great game played by them in game number 2. Very well shot called, well executed. But the picks suspect for Samsung this game, and we'll see if it comes back to haunt them.
At least they have a little bit more durability with the Lulu instead of the Victor. But also lower damage in the team fights. And Crown was doing a lot on that Victor to try and keep Samsung in the game. Even though he did fall behind early, he picked up a few kills late, which delayed the Tigers just a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a lane swap coming in here for Samsung. Oh, are we? No, I guess we're not.
Okay.
Should be good for the Tigers having the Jin in lane. Tigers now coming through the tri-brush, and we see, ooh.
Hello.
Tricky.
Oh, Gorilla, you're taking some damage here. Bug Splat! No, wait, hold. It's not Bug Splat. It's just another program wanting to get your attention. There we go. I preemptively Bug Splatted. My bad.
I hate when you splat too early, dog.
You know, I can't sometimes. Anyway, when I watch the ROX Tigers, but it was just another program, so we don't need to worry about it. We're going to get Clue in there. We're going to deal with that program, though. He'll be sent to the games. He'll be de-resed for sure. Not this game. You don't get de-resed in this game.
Maybe you should.
Maybe you should. Maybe you should. LCS would be a lot more exciting if we put the actual NA players in the game with threat of de-resolution.
Well, I'm pretty sure they would never try and play Koreans again.
I suppose that's true. Ray turning for the damage. Nice hook by Wraith. Getting work done on that Jin. And the thing is, Jin doesn't really have a lot of mobility, so you do need to be careful.
Only getting a little bit of a speed boost after his 4th shot.
Yep.
But also, Samsung did manage to hit level 2 first, which caused this situation to develop in the first place. Now we see Core and Wraith comfortably in the lead. Now it's up to the ROX Tigers to see if they can get it done with some of the Jin damage and turn these trades around. They're behind when it comes to biscuit usage.
You don't want to be behind when it comes to biscuit usage.
Gotta always get the first biscuit.
That's right. Gotta consume those biscuits as sparingly as possible.
Want to make watch your opponents eat the biscuit.
That's right.
Yeah, eat that biscuit. I'm the winner.
I just, like, imagine this happening in a lane. Like, you're fighting and somebody shoots the other guy and the guy's like, oh crap, and he like reaches in his pocket, pulls out a biscuit, he takes a bite, and the other's like, ha! Ha! You ate your biscuit first.
Ambition again trying for this 3-buff pressure. He's gonna get it.
All right. Not bad. Steals away the blue buff.
Krogus on the other side of the map, though, is going to be responding in turn, looks like. A little bit of counter jungling over there.
They're going to try, and he's also set up for a gank onto Kube if they decide to go through it. Go through with it. That's a cool Azir skin.
Ambition really doing well in the jungle this series, despite that kill that he gave to LeBlanc in game number 1, which may have lost him the game.
I was going to say, game 1 was...
His farming has remained excellent, and that has become his main strong suit this season, is his ability to get ahead via counter jungling.
True.
In the last couple of games, that's what we've seen. Meanwhile, let's talk about the top lane. Cuvée is in a lot of trouble. He has to deal with a ranged champion that is constantly pushing this wave, that doesn't need mana to push the wave, and so he is losing a lot of CS.
You know, it's
Graves is like an AFK pusher, and the reason why we're seeing Peanut sacrifice some of his bottom jungle is because he wants to be there in the enemy jungle, so Smed can just brainlessly push this wave forward and deny Cuvée as much as he can. Cuvée also having to go for the cloth armor first.
Wow. That's rough. That makes sense. And if you think about it, there's a lot of... I feel like there's some similarities between the Graves GP matchup and the Quinn GP matchup.
Except with
escaping back to his turret.
Way worse wave clear from Quinn, and therefore not an ability to push the turret quite as hard.
You can still trade very, very well, you know, which is something that I suppose Graves can do against GP without a lot of response.
GP walks up, gets hit by Q, gets auto-attacked. Good luck.
Runs for his life.
Right back in.
Here we
to
go.
death.
Smeb could be in a little bit of trouble trying to get away. There's a slow. Smeb under turret. Kindred alt used. That's first blood. I'm sorry, not alt used. That was just a W. But it is going to be first blood going over to Samsung.
Man,
that one goes to
Smeb
Kube.
Didn't have to TP onto the wave itself. He could have just TP'd onto his turret. Gets greedy. Gragas isn't there. Gragas is in the bottom side of the map. You can't make that TP. You have no idea where the enemy jungler is. Makes it easy for Ambition to get that gank, and they finish him off. And now that pressure that they had developed in the CS lead they had is just drying up.
Yeah, it's gone completely. Oh, hi, Peanut. Wraith is there. Oh, the ward spots him. Peanut running for his life. He's got his bot lane to help him out. But ROX Tigers need to watch it. They need to be careful from here on out. You can't be giving the Gangplank kills really at all.
No, and this defeats the entire purpose of the standard lanes that they had. ROX should have a big advantage in standard lanes in this game.
Yeah.
It was playing out when it came to CS in the top lane. It was playing out when it came to CS in the bottom lane. Then you just go make a stupid mistake and give it right back. Now QV has a level advantage, has that first kill, so he's got more gold. And you're scared to push forward because Gangplank has flash, and so does Kindred, and you don't have any sunrays.
Yeah, Smeb's going to need to be really careful. In fact, he's just going to die again because here comes Ambition coming at the top. Peanut's nowhere around. I don't know what Smeb is doing here.
They see him.
Yeah, okay. Is he going to get out, though? That GP ult's going to slow him quite a bit. Smeb not taking too much damage. Now he is. And Ambition gets the kill. Yeah, perfect Lamb's Respite to keep Ambition alive.
If Smeb had ult to knock himself back just a little bit further, that would not have been a kill. But right before he hits level 6, QV now 2 levels up. And ROX Tigers in a bind.
That is a pretty disastrous series of events for Smeb in that top lane.
But great punishment from Ambition.
Yeah.
He sees that QV's level 6. He's level 6 because he's been farming hard through the jungle. Smeb is still level 5. He knows he doesn't have flash. Therefore, he does have a bit of a knockback. He has quick draw, but he doesn't have the ability to escape ganks by blowing his ultimate.
Wow, Prey and Gorilla taking a lot of damage down the bot lane too.
Yep, 6 hit first by Core. They all in, use the culling, and win the trade. Prey still hanging around there at level 5. Now it's going to be up to the rest of the team to see what they can do because Smeb's edge has vanished.
Yep. Good vision by Samsung too in that top part of the jungle. So now Kube can be as aggressive as he really wants to be.
You also have to wonder about the Gragas priority. Peanut is not what we think of as a Gragas player. Is he bad? No, but he likes to play Elise. He likes to play champions like Kindred and Nidalee that are more finesse-oriented and mechanical than Gragas. Gragas is a tank. He's useful for disruption, but Peanut has never been a big tank jungler.
Yeah.
That's why when we ask how the ROX Tigers would do in a different meta, you wonder, because we've seen Peanut play in tank metas and it hasn't been working.
Prey's taking a lot of damage. Yep, Ambition, he is getting out of control now. Gorilla taking a lot too. Here comes Core JJ. It's going to be 2 more kills for Samsung. Crown grabs that one. This one is really getting out of control.
Just going berserk.
Yeah, man.
In this game. He's taken the Devour enchantment too, so he's getting stacks left and right here. He's going to have a very quick sated Devour in this game. We'll keep our eye on that as he helps to take out camp right there. Isn't going to get much more. Cube has now started to win the trades in the top lane with the gold advantage he has accrued.
It's a massive gold lead for Samsung at just 9.5 minutes here. 3,000 gold up about.
And it's all on Ambition. He punished the teleport. Peanut trying to get what he can, but Cube is here and he has to walk away.
Yeah.
His mid laner is back at base. His top laner is under farm. Samsung now picking up a dragon. Everything's going right. The GP is ahead. Hard to imagine how Samsung could have done better in basically a losing lane situation that they had.
Really? I mean,
at least in the side lanes.
It's going to already be a pretty Herculean effort for the ROX Tigers to come back. Not the game I expected to see, but then again, we're seeing Smeb, make mistakes that we don't normally see out of him too.
It's going to have to be a really, really late game for this ROX Tigers team if they want to come back, just because we look at their champions and Prey.
Oh, they're going to try for a gank here, I guess. Wow, Prey and Gorilla coming up as well.
It's going to be so hard to kill this GP.
Yeah, but Kube's got a good angle on him here. Peanut right there, over the wall. Kube still got his flash. Doesn't
Nice
make it over the wall, though. Locks that GP all down, or drops it rather. There's the kill for the ROX Tigers. Lamb's Respite doesn't quite reach all the way over to Gangplank.
But they commit to this, and they're going to give up the bottom turret. The question is,
Yep.
can they actually take a turret in response and at least go up 1 kill in the trade?
Hard to say. I don't think
Looks like the answer
they
is no.
can.
So they four-man top, and they actually give up more of an advantage to Samsung.
Wow.
Minions simply weren't there. Ambition will be able to clear this out.
I think if Samsung wins this game, Ambition might be doing the solo MVP interview.
I think he will be.
Had to happen sometime, I suppose. And it's not over yet, but again, the lead continuing to increase for Samsung. This is going to be by far ROX Tigers' biggest gold deficit at 15 we've ever seen, and this might actually knock them down below 1,000 average.
Yeah, it's going to deal a pretty big blow to that statistic, to be sure.
It was such a good statistic, too.
I'm sorry your stats were ruined, Doa.
Oh, man, I love that stat.
How much did you love it?
A lot.
Did you love it more than the ROX Tigers no longer being undefeated?
No, not that much. But, you know, I mean, with ROX Tigers being defeated, it certainly makes the field a little bit more interesting going into the end of the regular season.
Not
into the
that
postseason.
much more interesting, Doa. They are really far ahead.
It does, but it makes it more interesting not in that anyone can overtake them, because obviously nobody
would be
really
hard.
can. But
Well, they can. It would just be really hard.
It's not likely. But it does make it more interesting when playoffs kind of roll around, you know, when the finals kind of roll around. How much of a challenge whoever ends up facing the ROX Tigers is going to be for them. But then again, we don't normally see Smeb making the mistakes that he made in this game. We don't normally see teams kind of fighting fire with fire like Samsung did in game number 1. But, you know, maybe this is the time when the playbook is kind of exposed for the ROX Tigers, right?
I don't know. They have a pretty big playbook that they've shown. I just don't think that, especially in game 2, they made the wisest use of the draft. I do understand what they were doing in this game, but they just haven't been playing very well, and Ambition has done a wonderful job of taking one mistake that Smeb made and turning it into an advantage in multiple lanes.
Now, Smeb has more or less caught up in CS. And he does have a kill. So things aren't as bad as they could be, but it's really the jungle is the main story.
But the reason why you take top graves is to win the tower wars, the tower trades, and when you mess up like that, and Peanut doesn't seem to know how to coordinate around Smeb's pressure. It looked good in the early game when there was some counter jungling going on and he was sticking around that top side, but Jin Air is very good at playing this top Graves, and they will always just keep winged camping the top side, threatening the dive. Graves has a lot of damage. This time, not so much. Peanut is wandering around to the bottom side of the map, and that opened up opportunities because Smeb was teleporting like Peanut was there when he wasn't. So All Ambition made it look easy because it was easy.
Yeah, it's a bit of cockiness from the ROX Tigers. Dragging up in about 1:30 now.
ROX is still going to be able to perhaps pull this out if the game goes long enough, and it's going to have to go very long, and they have okay wave clear with this composition, and they've got some nice defense with the Azir passive to keep them in it for a while.
Samsung converging on this top turret here.
Peanut's
Peanut
here.
is there. Gorilla taking a chunk already.
Wow.
Here comes the teleport for Samsung. They're really committing to this one. Peanut thinking about running away. 10. Okay, teleport canceled.
Smeb completed his though.
Did. And
that is so punishing because look at what Samsung did. They decided to try and push a dive. Then when Smeb completes his TP, look how much farm he's going to lose on the bottom side. GP's been pushing that wave in the whole time.
Yep.
And here we go again. Here's the other TP coming in.
Peanut
Very
has to
nicely
flash.
played by Samsung.
That's
Great
right.
job.
Here comes Kube. And now the culling used. Gorilla blocks a lot of that. Prey taking some of it though. Turret getting low. There's a kill on Prey already. Core JJ picks that one up. It's going to be a double kill. Peanut on the run, Ambition going for it. The third kill in this fight, he will get it. Kuro comes in, pushes Smeb back a little bit. Smeb in trouble, goes down. Wild Growth on Ambition keeps him alive, and what a fight for Samsung. They are miles ahead of the ROX Tigers now.
Absolutely gorgeous shot calling from Samsung. Let's talk about that. So they put the Tigers in a terribly difficult situation. They're pushing, watch the wave. Oh no, it's too late for that, never mind. We're just gonna look at the actual dive again. But the execution of this not that important with the gang playing Golden. 4-2, they have a very real opportunity to make this happen. Peanut does not have ultimate, and they try and do something here, but it's just not going to work. Smeb gets targeted out of the side. They can take 4 kills for 0.
I feel
but
like
it was the setup to that play that was great. So the timing from Samsung, they have this wave about to crash into the tier 2 turret. Makes a very difficult decision for Smeb. Okay, so we see Crown. He's going to try and TP, and in doing so, he forces the TP from Smeb, but then he cancels. Smeb ends up in the top side. Now Smeb is saying, crap, I have this huge wave in bottom tier 2 that I have to be able to farm or I'm going to fall even further behind. He recalls. Then the second TP comes in from Cuvée. They execute the dive anyway, so they get the TP. Smeb then has to walk back into the top lane. He dies there. They lose the wave into the bottom tier 2 anyway. So basically it couldn't have gone better for Samsung, and that's because they put an amazing amount of pressure onto the Tigers to make that play. Just really good shot calling from Samsung.
it kind of feels like for the first time the ROX Tigers are having a team play against them like they play against other teams.
Yeah, it's encouraging to see. Samsung, we talked about it, hasn't had the strongest early game, but they are playing around it better in those last 2 games.
Oh, Smeb in trouble again. Cuvée all over him. Smeb trying to stay alive. I don't know if it's going to work. Flash over the wall. Flash away from Smeb. Here comes Crown. Misses the glitter lance. Peanut there to zone for his top laner. That was a close call. Neither top laner really wanting to commit to that one.
Smeb, though, forcing a couple of flashes for just one of his. It's a small advantage, but I don't know. That's probably not going to be enough. 2 dragons already taken by Samsung. They're up 7,000, 8,000 gold, excuse me.
Yeah, it's a massive lead for Samsung.
Almost no way that Samsung can lose this game.
As far behind as ROX Tigers were last game, it's way worse this time around.
Samsung doing an excellent job of punishing the ROX Tigers, and ROX, they were showing some cracks in their armor. They didn't seem to know how to play around this top Graves, and one wonders if they get a little bit too fancy. They've shown an immense number of different strategies this season, and finally it seems like they have one that perhaps they haven't practiced enough or they don't understand completely.
It's crazy to see. It's crazy to see, and it really raises a lot of questions about Samsung's future, and it's so bizarre too, because Samsung just lost to CJ.
CJ's not a bad team, though.
I know, but
this scene is so competitive right now, especially because CJ has BDD at this point in time.
But if you lose to CJ,
CJ's won their last 4 straight.
Yeah, but if you lose to CJ, still and to be fair, Samsung was the strongest opponent for them in those 4 matches. But Cuvée in trouble, Peanut, Smeb all over him. Looks like ROX Tigers will be able to grab a kill here. Eventually, they will. Wow, Smeb getting really low. Ooh, boy, wow. Peanut comes in and takes it.
They tried so hard to give it to Smeb.
That GP is strong with that Trinity Force right now. Kuro needs to be careful here. There's the Wild Growth. Kuro goes back in. What is he doing? Tried to go for a fancy ult play to push him back under a turret. Wraith was there, but he just straight up failed it.
Oh, he died with both his summoners up. I think he just straight up accidentally went in on that one. ROX Tigers really coming apart. They're going to lose 2 turrets for that little play. Huge mechanical misplay by Kuro. That is not common to see.
No. I think we might be taking the bus to Tilt City here, which is...
Tiltington, my favorite town.
I don't know. All season long, we haven't seen the ROX Tigers make mistakes like this, be intimidated like this. But then again, we haven't really seen anyone play against the ROX Tigers like this either.
Do you think if they go to Tilt City, they can meet Soaz, the mayor?
The mayor of Tilt City, I guess so. I guess it's a possibility. He'll welcome them with open arms.
Kuro's never been a particularly great Azir player. It's worth noting that Kuro is 5-11 all-time on Azir. It's actually one of his worst champions.
So why play it?
I don't know.
Been practicing it for a while, I guess. I mean, it is something to, in a team fight, you know, keep Jhin a little bit safer.
Push people off, Kindred ult.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, on paper, this composition looks great.
Well,
against what Samsung has.
It really depends on how things go early, and when they chose
now it doesn't look good.
Well, they chose a losing jungle matchup too with the Graves, and that could also be called into question. You need to play. If you take top Graves, everybody must play around top Graves. That is the rule. Because he doesn't have a choice. He will push that lane. You don't have control over the minion wave. Now a 10,000 gold lead in 21 minutes as the Tigers are getting thumped in game number 3.
This is the worst loss for the Tigers all season. It's impressive stuff from Samsung. Cool to see.
Samsung's been a surprising team, and if they take out the Tigers, they will have taken out both the #1 and #2 teams in this league in Jin Air and the ROX Tigers.
That's a very good point.
They may have lost a few silly matches too, but they can hang with the best of them.
Not something I would have expected to say at the beginning of the season. But they've certainly proven themselves, especially today if they can close this one out. ROX Tigers managed to save their bot lane tier 2 for the moment, but Crown already hammering on that inhibitor turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's going to die really soon. He has Lich Bane.
Yep.
Avoiding the collapse right there.
Smeb, this 1-3-1 Graves just isn't going to do a whole lot. Peanut comes over the wall. They wanted to make a play on core JJ.
Play on the JJ.
That's right. Scares him away. Oh, but it looks like he'll stay. Now calling on the Gorilla. Wow, Gorilla taking a lot of damage here. There's the explosive cask immediately. The flash from core JJ. Turret goes down. Kindred gets at one. There goes Gorilla. Prey already having to back off. Uses a W. Locks up Ambition for a moment. GP ult falling. Kuro not getting anything done again with that Emperor's Divide. And there's just nothing the ROX Tigers can do. Smeb completely caught. Gets grabbed by Wraith. Wild Growth keeps him alive. Ambition over the wall. Look at that. Ambition with a kill. Prey right there, though. Prey should not have stepped up. This Kindred is absolutely out of control. This could be the game right here.
It's a little early for that.
I mean,
no,
it
won't be. They're too low.
Okay, they don't have the minion wave either, so I guess it'll take a little bit longer. But I think even though the game didn't literally end there, it ended in a metaphorical sense.
Is that how you get away now?
Yeah, totally.
All right, I'm going to start using that from now on.
I was right in a theoretical sense.
No, not even in a theoretical sense.
Metaphorical sense.
They were dead. The game was over, metaphorically.
Hey, it's is this game over, Monte Cristo?
Yes.
There you go. There's a team fight, proving our point, because we have never miscalled the end of a game before.
Kuro's Azir is just putrid.
It is, and not just because he's using that undead skin, man.
Now we see Ambition with the hero plays like, I got this. Goodbye, Kuro. You have no ult.
I'm full health, Jhin. I'm helping.
My, that damage. Ugh.
More wolf than lamb there.
Well, he has Sterix, Gage, and Maw, so deceptively tanky, Kindred.
Yep.
It's 24-minute Baron time, Doa.
Absolutely incredible gold lead. Right now, 15,000 gold lead in 24 minutes. ROX Tigers trying to be tricky, but nope. Gangplank has a barrel.
And Wraith has CC.
And Wraith is tanky. That's right. Gets slowed up a little bit. Culling doesn't exactly go the direction core JJ would have liked.
No, nice route to keep Wraith down. They actually can't see that ward.
That's
the second time that's happened tonight.
It's a bit awkward. People are learning.
Samsung's like, why aren't they coming in here? We're doing the Baron.
The game is afoot. Whoa, okay. Try to engage.
At a certain point, you really just have to suspect that's in there.
Yeah, I think so. All right, well, a little bit of lull in the action, and Samsung went for that Baron bait. Didn't end up working out. Can still push forward here. And now that the lane is pushed up, right back to Baron. All 3 lanes pushing in favor of Samsung. And they're going to go for this one. They should be able to do it pretty quick if they want to. Ah, okay, pulling off for the moment.
They're actually not very tanky. That's the problem, is they can only bait this. They can't really go for it because ROX has incredibly long range with the Graves ultimate and the Jhin ultimate, so if they start getting low, they actually could get picked off. I agree with their decision. They should just be seen.
Whoa, Kuro gets destroyed.
Wow.
Calling it then some from Core JJ. Just a little bit of damage from Lulu added onto that. Wraith grabs Peanut. There's a knockup from the Nautilus ultimate. They're going to just ignore the team for the moment, go for the inhibitor. Back away, very methodical close by Samsung in this game.
And as the ROX Tigers are almost inevitably going to lose this game, certainly did the ROX Tigers make mistakes? Yes, but you have to credit Samsung for doing some really slick shot calling in order to punish them, because they punished the ROX Tigers really heavily for the mistakes that they made.
Yeah.
And especially Ambition, who has been brilliant in the last 2 games.
6-0-5 on that Kindred. Definitely one of the most impressive Kindred performances we've seen this season. Baron going down. They really want to take it. Crown comes in, goes for the Glitter Lance. They don't steal it. Peanut dives to try to get the smite, but it's too late. Just going to give himself over as a kill. The recall comes in from Samsung, and they can casually push their way up any lane they want at this point.
Had to try. That was the Hail Mary.
Oh, yeah.
You're down 2 inhibitors. You're down 18,000 gold. You don't have a choice, but Samsung will be closing this one out. They're simply way too far ahead.
Yep.
And Jhin is in a giant power trough right now. He's not going to be strong again until he starts to get into basically 4-item territory. They don't really have a tank at the moment. So there's no way to stop the damage coming in from Kindred, GP, and Lucian.
Well, it's a historic night here on Champion Spring, the night that the ROX Tigers were finally defeated. Took a long time, but Samsung had what it takes.
It's almost impossible to go undefeated in 18 best-of-3s in a season. Even Samsung SK Telecom last summer ended up losing a best-of-3 to CJ.
Well, ROX Tigers did it a year ago. Why not now? But not in the cards.
18 best-of-3s they did not.
It was, what, 14? It was a little bit less in the spring season last year, yeah.
But nobody's ever done 18 best-of-3s. That is extraordinarily hard to do in an environment as competitive as Korea.
Still impressive what they accomplished last year, but there were less teams in the league at that point. And there goes the top inhibitor turret. The inhibitor will be soon to follow. They're going to go on to Prey a little bit. Peanut trying to zone. GP ult dropped. ROX Tigers just forced back almost immediately. There comes the first kill for Samsung, and this is the beginning of the end. Smeb juggled around before he's finally taken out. Prey pops that Jhin ultimate, the curtain call, but Ambition just tanks it. Jeez, look at that damage. There goes the Nexus turret, and that is it. The ROX Tigers will be defeated. Samsung wins it 2-1.
Wraith doesn't even look happy. Can you be happy, Wraith? All right, Core looks mildly amused. Crowd doesn't care.
The consummate professionals, man.
Ambition managed to smile.
That's odd, because usually Ambition's the guy who's
All
super
right,
serious.
Cuvée, you look happy.
There we go. Happy Cuvée. The coaches are happy too, of course.
Great job from Samsung. They really played 2 great games in the last part of the set, completing the reverse sweep after getting wrecked game number 1.
And I hope, Monte Cristo, that this is a trend. I hope teams see, hey, we just have to match aggression with aggression. We just have to fight. It's just like in the Godzilla movie, man. The guy's like, let them fight. That's what all the coaches need to do as far as their planning goes against ROX Tigers.
All right, calm down. I don't want this turned to LPL.
No, we want this. Who is this Prey? It's a good question. He plays Varus, loses really badly. Who is this Prey?
Well, ROX Tigers come out with a really strong game number 1. They make a diligent effort at a comeback in game number 2, and then get completely outclassed in game number 3 by Samsung.
No doubt about it.
And that win means a whole lot for Samsung as they move to 7-5. It will actually tie them with CJ for 4th place, and they want to stay in the playoff race. Top 5 in the playoffs. You're below that, you get left in the dust. So crucial that they were able to score an upset win if they want to continue into the playoffs at the end of the season.
Yeah, Samsung jumping from number 6 all the way up to number 4. Wow. It's impressive stuff.
Great job by them tonight.
And you hope it continues. You know, you want to see a competitive season. We want to see a competitive season, and hopefully this wasn't just a fluke. Great planning for the ROX Tigers. Game 1 looked a little bit rough, but man, they really brought it together in Game 2 and 3. Peanut doesn't look too phased, though.
It doesn't really mean a whole lot to them. Certainly an undefeated season is nice, but at the end of the day, they're still 11-1.
Yeah.
They're up 2 series over Jin Air. They're in a fine place to just make that automatic berth into the grand finals at the end of the season.
Yep, they're looking good. And so our Game 3 MVP is Ambition. Ambition gets the solo MVP interview today. And just an incredible day for this guy. We talked earlier about how good Score looked in the jungle after his transition. Ambition today looked just as good.
He's less consistent, though. Today.
Just today.
And except for Game 1 where he died to LeBlanc.
That's right. The latter part of today.
I was so worried when he picked the Kindred into all this displacement, but he really made it work. Props to him. He did the most damage of anybody in that game at 19,700 points of damage to champions. Hard carried 100%.
Well, it's interesting because we were worried about the team fights, the Kindred ult, what impact that would have with all the displacement with the Varus ult, or not the Varus ult, with the Azir ultimate, with the Gragas ultimate, but his answer was just to get in there early and kill people.
Well, when you get that much of a goalie, it doesn't really matter who has a team fight advantage because
that's true.
You're an item up on absolutely everybody on your team.
We weren't expecting the aggression early on from Ambition. We were expecting the farming.
Smet made a lot of mistakes, and they were punished.
Yeah. At the end of the game, all 4 shots put right into Ambition. Doesn't matter. They are a pro game team. That's right. And now, it is time for our MVP interview. George will be translating for us, of course. Let's hear what Ambition has to say.
All right, thank you guys. What a game for Samsung and Ambition. And Ambition obviously gets the double MVP for today. All right, let's meet our MVP. Round of applause for Ambition. Congratulations. Thank you. I know you guys blocked ROX's undefeated record. How do you feel? Last game against CJ, we kind of lost in a bad way, so we kind of didn't expect too much against playing against ROX, so no pressure, you know. We just talked to each other. We actually recognize they're really a hard team to beat, so we kind of talked to each other, I guess. That kind of helped. I know ROX was undefeated. Did you? So you didn't have any pressure? Actually, because they were, you know, winning the whole league very uncompetitively, so we kind of had no pressure actually. I know you usually play Lexi or Alice, so it feels like you can, you know, you have a lot of champion selections. Did you practice a lot? I actually practiced a lot of jungle picks to give a lot of damage. So, because I thought it was really good champions to practice with. During practice, I really, you know, play very well with those jungle champions, but whenever I actually play in these in the game, I kind of didn't show that. I couldn't show that. But today, I guess it kind of showed up today. So you had #1 damage on the whole team. I actually saw it, and I kind of knew it after I finished the game. I know in the second and third set was a very good game. What was the conversation between you and your teammates after the first game? In the first game, you know, I made a lot of mistakes. and I couldn't deal with it because the number of the minions were a lot. There were a lot of differences. So and we talked to each other to get great champions on the second and third set. There's Kuve smiling. I know on the second and third set, you guys picked the first champion as the top laner. Was there a reason? Because we were trying to focus on the plays that I can do. So, and I was trying to focus on going to the top lane. And I think we were lucky as well. On the third set, I know on the later game, you kind of killed Prey when he had full HP. Was there a mindset behind? What was your thought behind that? I just wanted to show my fans to destroying the other team who was undefeated. So I just kind of ran after him. I know this season Peanut played very well. How was it possible to beat him play really well against him? I think because Peanut picked a champion that is not so fast. Whenever Peanut, whenever I play against other jungle players, whenever I try to use my skill set, they usually try to avoid it, and then get back to me. But Peanut kind of just try to get the counter attack. So I guess I got lucky as well. All right, there was the moment where they showed your team members on TV as well. Please say something to your lovely teammates. First set, after we lost first set, I was really depressed. But all of my team members cheered up for me and for each other as well. I know we're not doing very well this season, but I hope we go really high to become a high-ranked team as well. All right, that was a great game for Samsung. Take it away, guys.
All right, thanks for the translating, George. And yeah, really impressive day by Ambition after game one was over anyway. But the ROX Tigers fall. What do you know? Immortal after all, huh?
So hard to get that undefeated season, and they won't make it this time. We'll have to wait. Perhaps another team will in the future. But
18 best of threes, though.
KT
tough for anybody.
Comes out looking pretty good.
Yeah, KT doing very, very well against Longju in our first series of the night. A very convincing 2-0 for them. They will maintain their spot, third place at 8-4 record right now. And then Samsung taking down the ROX Tigers. How about that?
Must feel good, those Samsung fans, ever since white and blue combined, all the players left. They have been long-suffering. Samsung last year, dead last. Now Ambition this season moving up to 4th place, and with their eyes even higher. Now they've defeated the ROX Tigers because that's one really tough opponent that they have scored that victory against. It makes it a lot easier for them to make it into the playoffs.
It's interesting to see Samsung and CJ so high in the rankings after where they started this season. And then SK Telecom, they have a really tough road now.
Well, they've also played a lot fewer matches, so they've got some time to make it back.
They do. In fact, they've got another match coming up next
week. Should be a good one.
Yeah, SKT versus the second place Jin Green Wings. That should be great. Africa Freaks versus Kongdu Monster after that. And then on Thursday, Longju taking on CJ. That's a very important one for both of these teams, but more for Longju, I feel, right now. And then Spenu versus KT Rolster. Spenu with a chance to maybe get a win this season. We'll see. And then SK Telecom versus ROX Tigers. Very interesting match considering where both teams are at right now. And Samsung gets a chance for another win on the Africa Freaks, who can be surprising.
They definitely can be.
Yeah, that's right. Should be cool. SKT versus ROX Tigers should be very interesting, though. And then finally on Saturday, Kongdu Monster versus Spenu Sonic Boom. Another good chance for Spenu, potentially. And then CJ versus Jin Air. And depending on how the earlier part of the week goes, that match could be very big for CJ.
Yeah, CJ's on a hot streak right now. They've won every single best of 3 that they've played with BDG. They beat Samsung, who just beat, of course, the ROX Tigers. They've got some tough tests, Longju and Jin Air. If they can win those games, they're going to make themselves definitely a contender for this season. We look at them, already talking about maybe Mad Life Kramer, the best bot lane in Korea. Definitely something that could be said.
It's possible. It's possible. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been a great week of League of Legends here on OGN at Champions, and it's going to be a great next week, too. This tournament just is getting so intense, man, with how good all these teams are playing. It's exceeding my wildest expectations. I'm not exaggerating. It's pretty great. So again, thanks for watching. See you next week.